Torsioning, overextending. I don't really see Ground Zero wanting to play around mid that much. Probably will look more towards bot lane. I assume the Varus Renata should get pushed, and then we might even see like early pressure around that side.
Well, if anything else, I suppose we're sort of expecting something from Schönfire in terms of the lanes have now been flipped around, so there is that red side for the classic level 3 dive to occur, and really look to punish the fact that, yeah, 5 bans were committed towards that lane. They've still got their hands on a Varus Renata, which is incredibly strong, maybe one of the strongest on this patch. And can that Xayah Rakan actually contend with it? That is the age-old question as we load ourselves into the Rift for the second game, the conclusion of this series, and the end of week 2 already. As Tully, you've joined us along for all these games. Not a bad way to finish your casting exposure.
Yeah, you know, it's been really fun to be here. I've enjoyed this a lot, and I'm very glad that I get to finish it out with one of the biggest bangers of LCO so far.
And it certainly is. Old faces, good friends, and a chance to see what they're doing and actually maybe flame them from time to time to have a bit of a laugh in the clips there afterwards. Let's see what happens. If there's any crazy shenanigans at level 1 like we saw before.
Looks like Dracu is positioning over the wall. He maybe was positioning for a W over the wall if they wanted to cheese, but he's not. They might walk up and hug the bot side, which avoids the bush vision, or they might assume Varus is in the bot bush and just walk up on him.
Taking their time right now as they look to try and go through bot lane, but no, into the bot try and say, I think it puts them in a pretty comfortable position to say, we're not really scared of what the draft looks like. You can give us anything and it's not really going to bother us. As we're back in, so thank you for bearing with us. Small issue seems to have been resolved. Speaking of junglers, let's go for Schönfire, right? Obviously, the most experienced in this position. On the Zen, a champion he's feeling very comfortable with. On this side of the map, I think we're after something really big from him this time.
Yeah, Schön is like, he always seems to find angles, you know? I think he's a very, very smart player. He's a very experienced jungler, and like, he's never really had problems with champion pool, like champion pool issues. You might see like people be like, all right, I can't play this jungle playstyle. Like, I've seen Schön play it all and have success on pretty much everything. He didn't really have access to that in the first game because of like an unfortunate Udyr gap going on, but you know, I think in this game, he's got access to a champion that he's going to be able to do a lot on the map, and we'll see that happen.
Certainly if he goes in, he's got a lot of follow-up in that regard. And Waston Rel, certainly not a weak champion or jungler by any stretch of the imagination. Just wasn't able to have like the classic Schön experience that we've come to really know and love. A bit of a passive affair at the moment, but it might not be for much longer, as just out of vision is Swiper, waiting in that newly crowned pixel bush up here in the top lane. Waiting to see if anything were to occur, whether or not that be a rotating Schönfire or it be a curious TN to say hello to an old friend.
Yeah, doesn't know the map is watered, so he should feel this.
Oh, he's gone for the flash and tried to bait out the instant flash from TN, but he held his nerve and he waited for that EQ right afterwards. So no death today.
Yeah, just a trade of flashes there. We'll see if Swiper wants to repeat that later on in the game, but most likely not. He's probably going to end up on the bot side of the map because that's where he wants to be.
Unless it be crazy and run it back once again, because we know that Schönfire is here. Swiper on Vision's going to say, well, I'm here too. In we go for the fight. Zoran's looking to try and lock him down as low as he can. Out goes the flag, but not the drag, not in a position now to try and bolster it. Just the attack speed to try and help him on out. And Zoran rips through the shields and eventually takes them down. Swiper pays the price by locking Schön for as long as he can. And Zoran has no flash. He's got no movement speed left from the Ghost. And Kiste is going to commit everything to guarantee the kill back.
Yeah, it's just double flash there, coming out an easy cleanup. You can see that Swiper used his flag really early and was unable to like combo with the EQ because Dan turned around, walked upwards. Swiper was just a sitting duck at that point, you know, just getting hit by the Zinzao. As we can see in the replay, like Zoran pops Ghost and he's just running straight onto the end. Swiper, like honestly, it's like a nerve thing. Like you need to be able to hold your combo here for like when it's guaranteed. Like he uses his E and then just has to Q for a bit of damage. He's just sitting duck Zin here. Zin just gets to stack his, I believe he has Conqueror, and he just does an insane amount of damage at this point.
It really is as simple as saying, I can run you on Dan Kiste with the orb at max range, and both actually double flashing to try and take that wall for themselves. In we go with a nice little entrance onto Kiste, and a reminder that you have no mobility now. You will just simply tick on down to one auto attack. Look at that. The ignite from Dracu, but the kill from Ryoma.
Really, really good foresight from Dracu to like roam up like this. He knows that like GZ really wants to get these grubs. They had the elite top side. He's there first and he punishes.
Right, Swiper gets the respawn, pick up the grubs once again. That was their key to success in game number 1. Will it be the same here in game 2 as Limus and Benvi utilize the fact that there is no Dracu to back up King as he rips back the feathers, nearly kills Benvi in the process. But Limus is for sure going to fall on down this time as Ryoma is showcasing why he's so proficient on this champion, and the LeBlanc has already got 2.
So close by King there to flash the Q from Varus. It's extremely hard. Like it's this it's almost an instant ability at point blank range, but, you know, good that GZ go for the dive, denies Zaya that wave, but like Roma with the foresight has his TP, eats the wave, Zaya's gonna eat mid. They don't lose resources overall because they're just swapping lanes pretty much.
They certainly are, so all those grabs taken by Swiper, the trade-off much like game 1 as well. Granzu are going to go for the Dragon instead, and no real response here from Mantic, given the fact that they have just made that play. Either waiting to respawn or waiting to redeploy onto the map. So they find themselves positioned in mid lane right now, but level 6 not too far away for those side lanes as well as the jungle, and that's when it really starts to get a little bit exciting as we'll see all the bells and fireworks come out to play.
Yeah, also, Swiper's 9-0 so far with Grubs, right? He is the Grub Master.
He's the Grub King.
The Grub King.
Maybe we need to change his name to Grubby. New nickname for him to acquire after this one is... look, I tell you what, as far as jungling goes, I mean, he's been pretty on point to start this one off. Not an easy matchup to open your account on, but to showcase like this, look, you know, I don't really matter. I can just team fight, I can engage. It's basically top lane, but not in lane.
Yeah, Swiper's coming down the hover bot. Like, you see the sticks on Varus. There's no sums on either AD carry right now, so if he does want to throw that ult out, Swiper's going to be behind him. And he'll be able to probably kill someone if they do decide to go forward. But, you know, disrespect coming out of Antics. Swiper's going to rotate back to mid lane, being spotted on a ward, so I doubt anything will really happen around here.
Both junglers hovering on opposite ends of the bush into mid lane. Much longer journey for them now to actually run in and force that gank to happen, but they still found a way to force out the flag and drag from Swiper in a very defensive manner.
So
just trying to utilize the fact that there are no flashes available, right? The fact is that they're just trying to hunt for as many kills as possible. As look at Tien forcing out the ghost once again from Zoranus, but both are down low, and both the junglers are actually collapsing on the enemy red. Swiper's going to show a lot of respect here. He's just not strong enough. He's just gonna die.
Flash is still down. Used his flag on the buff there as well, so he has no escape. Just a bit of the foresight that he didn't really feel like he could be invaded there. A bit of the spidey senses weren't there. And King is just unable to walk up to bot tower because there's just a level 6 Varus, and like he was unable to ding 6 before this wave collapsed. Yeah, which is really, really rough, right? He's down to 50% as well. Draku's going to try and hold this as much as he can to get that all-important experience, and they're going to try and do a bit of damage towards him as well, but look, I mean, as far as bot lane goes, you'd say 5 bans towards it, not been able to find the success they've been hoping for. Massive CS advantage favouring Limas. Yeah, I think this game's going to come down to how well Roma can, as we all see, all in top lane. I do honestly, like, I have no idea how much damage Udy's going to do. Sometimes I see this champ.
You see the flames come out, you're like, oh.
Sometimes I see that champ just like pop ult and you just die, but you know, I mean, sometimes does no damage. Anyway, back to my point. I think this game's going to come down to how well Roma can bridge with his lead to let his team get back into the game. That he has a strong lead right now in mid lane. He's going to get his mythic, like really, oh no, mythic, you know, it doesn't exist anymore. He's going to get his legendary item.
We all know what you mean.
Nice and early, and he's going to be able to be strong on the map and pressure, but CS Swiper is going to get picked here on this ward.
Swiper, don't be looking at the shop, he's been charmed. Kisse was waiting so patiently, and Fog of War saying, oh, if you're going to do that, I'm going to delay your tempo and make life even harder for you. But I love your point, right? The fact that Roma is so strong, will have that burst potential, and there is that lack of CC you highlighted very early on for him to get punished from this, so surely there's the invitation to pop your head into bot lane once upon a time and say hello to the Varus and, yeah, get King back into it.
Yeah, a lot of the CC that should be marking LeBlanc is point and click, so Roma always has the outplay potential on that. That's why I think LeBlanc is a good pick this game. And like he can just pop over the wall, you know, one shot one of the squishies and just disappear. Like, it's just a bit of a magic trick.
Yeah, it's certainly going to be a bit of a magic trick, and it's not going to be too many consequences for that one. Blast code in from Draku. Beautiful quickness, charming them all up. 2 members locked in place. Out goes that Featherstorm. Recall it back. Lock them in the Cataclysm. But then Schoenfire flashes out of it. A killer piece right now. But then look at them all come across. Limas says, have you forgotten how fed I am? There's a double kill. And you might be strong, Roma, but you're not going to get a kill today.
Huge Qs coming out of both carries. I'm pretty sure there was a Varus Q and an Ari Q straight onto 3 people. There was a huge amount of damage. Getting hit by like the main damage outputs from both carries and skirmishes this early in the game is just it's just over from that point.
Yeah, it's such a commanding position to be in. Up by 2,000 gold already. Only 10 minutes into this game. Back to base goes Schoenfire, picks up the Titanic, and if it's been difficult for him to, for Swiper rather, to contest him, virtually impossible now.
Yeah, see if they do want to go into mid here. I don't think anything is really going to happen. They're just trying to bail Roma out. He does decide to go forward, but the team is here.
Yeah, not sure about that one, Swiper. He's just made himself a sitting duck. He's gone for a small flag and drag in, and they've said, well, we'll take that kill. And we have a bit of an overforce, right? With the fact that Draku was there.
The Brawler mode as well. Ooh. Yeah, I think that's just a bit of disrespect as King is getting caught.
He certainly is getting caught right now. King in a lot of trouble. In comes Draku, flashing aggressively as Lemus needs a couple of more auto attacks. He rips back the feathers, but it's not enough. And Draku certainly does not have the damage. As a lonely Rakana goes to bail out Rome, he needs to run. But he falls on down. He can't be tricky enough with the clones and Lemus. I mean, it's a thumbs up that tells it all.
Yeah, everything is just going wrong for Antic at this point. They're losing all the skirmishes. GC's getting away with murder right now as well. Like, so many people are just living when they shouldn't be. As you do go back into the replay, I think it's a really good engage by Antic. They find the Bendy straight away. They get so much damage onto him, but I think the big turning point here was actually Swiper's ult. I think this was actually a negative Jarvan ulti as it trapped all the carries in here. And you see the amount of damage Ari's going to do here. And these Varus Qs are just doing way too much damage at this point in the game.
Yeah, as you say, quite rightly, just put them all in the position to say, well, he can flash out of that one, and we can't break this this wall quick enough for us to escape the punishment that both Kisley and Lemus were able to provide right afterwards. Really strong turnaround here from Ground Zero. They're in a very commanding situation. I think the only lane that's not really shown up so far to the same capacity has to be top lane. It's been very hard then for Tien on this rumble to try and shut down Udyr. But look, to his credit, he doesn't need to worry too much. He knows that his team's in a very strong position. He just has to rock up, press equalizer, and scale in that fashion.
Yeah, pretty much that's it. Like, he doesn't really have to try to win his lane. He just has to make sure that this Udyr doesn't get too out of control. A little bit of a...
would be found in the top lane though, because the flame spitter goes up. There it is, dropping the equalizer. Not in the ideal position. The Vectors have betrayed him on this occasion, and he's going to say, you know what? I'm a gracious person. I'll let you get away this time.
Yeah, that's just the poke combo. It's like Varus Q does this much damage, and he's building on hit. Okay, right. Like, come on.
It's a little bit broken, isn't it? He can just do whatever he likes right now, but he's still hitting you like he's a lethality burst champion. So, look. This bot lane is gone, and King and Draku need to try and salvage it elsewhere. They've tried countless times to find fights elsewhere. Draku with some successful roams, but not enough to get them the kills that they need. And yeah, Rome is going to be bidding himself up the fact that despite being so strong, he's not been able to sort of share that wealth elsewhere with the rest of the team.
Yeah, it's also another like unfortunate thing is they don't really have a champ who could slow down the game on their team. Like, they have no control mage who can like wave clear, or a poke champion. They're kind of forced into skirmishes because that's like all LeBlanc can really do. So like, we're probably going to see King just sit bot and farm for a very long time and hope that whatever else is happening on the map can be salvaged by Antic.
Is that a little bit awkward then on that same point if the pace were to keep going at this rate for Ground Zero, where they say, well, how does Antic actually respond to wave clear? Because I look at it and say it's King versus the world. I mean, unless you're getting Zoranus to run in, drop some Phoenix Flames and run away.
Yeah, like ideally you don't want to have everyone grouping on a team just to clear waves because like you don't want to be sharing golden experience like that. But yeah, like the main wave player on the team is probably just Xayah, and Xayah doesn't want to be anywhere near the enemy team right now because he just has no items or gold.
Yeah, it's a rough spot for them to find themselves in a bit of an awkward situation as Ground Zero really have the world at their disposal. What would you like to do, Mr. Schönfire? He tells Benvi, we're going for a bit of a roam, and that roam is going to be a case of taking the Herald. It's 3 Void grubs apiece this time, so no Void mites to look towards. But he's just remembered that, oh wait, yeah, it's red side, I'm Schönfire, I'm aggressive. Xin is going to pop off this game.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, Schön got one of his best champions. He's having a great performance on this. Like, I think comboed with the Titanic and the fact that you can almost instantly knock up people. Like, you act as an engaged champ as well now.
Let's see what they can do here, Antic in the bot lane. They're looking at Kisley. There is an objective bounty in that turret as well. Kind of paints the picture that down 5k gold already 15 minutes into this one. Ground Zero's game to lose, and they're just going to take the camp and walk away.
Yeah, they probably assume that because Benby's not showing on mid that he is going to like walk bot. They don't want to risk the fact that he could be in lane. The dive itself is already like kind of hard to commit, and it would blow the game open completely if they failed it.
Not really willing to dig their grave any further at this point. They want to fight themselves out of this deficit, but yeah, they don't want to be making trades that are negative like the ones you mentioned beforehand with that Cataclysm. So they'll be biding their time, no doubt. You'd imagine this next dragon up in 2 minutes, they'll sacrifice that 1-2 and just give as much time for King to scale into this one, unless a fight with a breakout like this, and if they can find a pick on their own terms, Swiper's one in trouble, flashes out, baits the Schönfire, rips back the feathers, and King finds success. Roma gets the shutdown, he'll be a happy man, as Zoranus is running down Lemus and making sure that his Varus can do 0 in this team fight, and he certainly has been able to achieve 0. Whilst he hasn't fallen on down, his damage impact will be very minimal, And that's a cheeky kill that Antic will be stoked with.
Yeah, this is just the one advantage Antic have is that they have TP versus Ignite top lane, and they use that numbers advantage to create a pick. Really good job getting the shutdown on Shonva, especially onto Roma. Like, this is the person you want your goal to be going to. And Roma also TP's top to make sure that nothing happens here, as he is face checking Rumble.
That's not where you want to be. And, oh no, it's not happening again. Look, I tell you what, on a different day, you face check the Rumble, you get cooked. It's just a one-shot.
It's fine. Just walk outside today in Australia. It's the same thing as a Rumble ulti.
Yeah, what was their temperature at the start of the day? So like 40 degrees?
41 degrees.
It's unbelievable. We really are just living in a desert right now. Beautiful highway in towards Kiste. Where are you going? Rooted, and he gets away! Don't tell me he lives! Oh, they greeted too much to try and give the kill to the right person. It certainly seems that way. And Granzo must be cracking up the fact that Ari has not fallen on down. He's going to go back in, actually. The Madman, as the Cataclysm goes on down, but it's all benefiting Granzo. As Limus finds what, a nearly sniped second.
Chain just goes wide there. Doris has come in again. See if he's able to pick up Limus here.
Bonus against the world. Here we go. Looking for Limus first of all. Can he find the reset? No, he cannot. So he'll be happy with that. A 1-for-1 to start things off with more shutdowns going across. And gold into Zoran's pockets. That will not go amiss. Shern trying to be cheeky with it. Jumping across the wall. Looking for a kill. He gets it. The Madman. Despite all the odds going against him, in a 1v4, he'll take LeBlanc down with him.
He's playing these skirmishes really well. I gotta give it to him. Like, he's finding these cleanup kills, flashes on King to finish him, and also preps his Q on the blue off to finish off Roma when he walks in. Back to this replay here though. We do see Kiste. I think he's always still on cooldown. As the spectator, we couldn't see that, but he does flash out with 1 health. I think Antic think they have a little bit of advantage here. Swiper does go in and it looks to be engaged, finds him with the Varus, but there's just not really any follow-up here. We're not at the point in the game where the damage is that insane. They do get his flash out, and Zoranus is collapsing from bot lane, which is why they're able to punish him. But as you can see in the rest of the replay, like what Schoenfire is able to do in the skirmish.
Yeah, it's just wild to me. Zoranus can wrap up this and say, look, I could go for Kiste, he has nothing left, but the real focus should be getting the shutdown onto Limus. And then Shern is like, I'm so low, what do I do? Forget that. What he did do was get the kill, but we're back to that same crime scene to see if it all happens again, because the dragon is up. Now, this is the one we're thinking, surely Antic would forfeit again and say, yeah, you can have that dragon. We won't take this fight just yet. We need a little bit more time. King's sitting on an item, maybe an item in a bit. But look at this out of Limas. He's actually gone for the Hex Plate as Varus second.
Yeah, it's honestly like an interesting item. I think it's like a kind of like I want to be as strong as possible right now item. I don't think it's like an item you buy if you want to like scale into the game and be very, very strong. I think it just has a lot of synergy on these ult-focused champions. Like you see it both on like Zeri and Nocturne, sometimes even Vi in the worst case. I think it's an overall strong item.
Yeah, it certainly seems to be a case of like, we are very strong right now. Let's just snowball even further and try and wrap this one up really, really quick. Because Antic certainly know they need more time, but time is not being afforded to them. Whilst Roma look to try and push in topside and get themselves their first tower of the game, Granzo are already setting up for what could be their 5th. They're that far ahead right now. They have that much of a commanding lead 20 minutes into this one. That whilst it hasn't blown much further than 5k ahead, the gold's in all the right places. Limus must be having an absolute field day here, knowing that his ego has been tested with 5 champions being banned, but still having the most gold in the game.
Yeah, he was able to find pretty much the best AD carry on the patch, even though there was 5 bans going towards them in the draft. I think they're very, very comfy with the matchup they had, and they did really well in the laning phase. Like, Limus is one of those players that, like, if he is given an inch, like, he'll take a lot more than that.
See then what Antic's game plan will be to try and get themselves into that prime position, because it's one thing to say they just need to farm. It's the second thing, though, to actually make that a reality, because Granzo are certainly making it very hard to try and do that. They're trying to sneak in moments, as you saw Roma before in top lane. Now Zoranus going for an attempt in the bot side to get their second tower, try and open up the map a little bit more in their favor, just get any bit of gold they can and to try and help things out here. But Tien's certainly going to say it's not going to be that easy. Back in for that 1v1. And I'm curious at what point Tien actually just flat out starts to win this 1v1.
I think it's probably like too far past that point. I think that like Udia is just like too comfy with how strong he's been so far. We're also in that same scenario that we were in last time. We have TP versus Ignite in bot lane, so we'll see if Zoranus is able to force out the 1v1 and beat the gap for the top side with the TP.
Certainly is a good point. Begs the question, and would a team like Granzo look to try and start up a Baron dance? That would seem absolutely crazy. Certainly a consideration if they've got all this injection of power ready to utilize right here and now. Both teams really biding their time, though, and figuring out, okay, how much damage do we have online? Well, a couple of new items have come across. Schönfire now with the new and improved Wits and a bit of tenacity that certainly will not go to waste. But the Rabadon's being picked up by Roma now, so sitting on 2.5 items. Will be feeling, pretty strong to have a crack at things now.
Yeah, he is feeling very good now that he's got his Rabadons. Like, he has the point where, like, if he lands all his abilities, he can pop pretty much everyone except for Zen at this point in the game. So, I think this is, like, a classic as well from, like, mid laners who have TP. Like, he's hovering bot lane, so they do have double TP, but it doesn't really matter because they're going to play to kill this Rumble and then TP up to Baron when GG started.
Roma going to sneak his way into lane. As you mentioned, double TP is available, so there would be no punish if they were to make this play a reality. Biding their time, they're going to try and draw in TM, but then they jump in. There's the stun. The tower's low. This equalizer, that's a good one, but the kill's too easy. Not enough time to burn them on down. The bounty claimed. The map opened. And a successful little heist to pick up what they needed.
Yeah, Sherm was also hovering around bot to try to kill the Udyr himself when he went for the turret, but, you know, good foresight from Roma to be around bot. And GZ know that they can't also, start the Baron after they show another bot because of those TPs.
So Schönfire will be the hard one to kill. Let's see what damage comes across as Roma still stays in the area. It's going to peel away for the meantime as it's all about vision control. You can see there's a whole bunch of vision in that Baron pit right now, currently being cleared out by Dragku. Making sure that the map is dark and Granzo have no idea what Antic are cooking up next.
Yeah, honestly, like, Antic are doing a really good job to get back into, like, this game. They're finding, like, small little advantages. As they are TPing onto Kisse here, he does have flash and ult, so we'll see how much he can take them for a run.
That's the one. He's got everything up and available, but will he be able to utilize it? There is the Spirit Rush dashing away all the way towards the wrong side of the map. He may just fall on down to the tower in the end as they pass that one across to Dragku, actually, of all people. Roma tried to sneak it away, but I think the Ignite just ticked a little bit too quick.
Yeah, this is honestly just a really nice play. They're constantly finding these picks on side lanes. They're unable to, GZ's unable to punish them because there's no objective up to take on the other side, or you can't really punish the TPs there. We'll see if they're able to take down Udyr here, though. Yeah,
Chino Corruption's onto one target in particular. Take down this Udyr. He's a bit of a titan, though. Really hard to take on down. Out goes the quickness. Hostile takeover to try and answer back instantly. And Zonis is still alive. Dragku gives him a shield, and he's on his merry way once again. Schönfire jumps on in. Just sidestep that grand entrance to make sure that he isn't falling on down. And both the Bruisers do whatever they can as Roma jumps in once. He jumps in a second time, and now King is finally back in business. Down goes the equalizer. They sidestep out of it, and nobody's low enough to be cooked alive.
This gold gap just keeps on shrinking, and this is so much better for Antic because the Dragon is up as well, and this should be another free objective for them. Denies the soul. They're getting gold on the right people. Like, this game is finding them extremely close again.
This is dicey, to say the least. And as you mentioned, it's like, surely, guys, surely Antic don't win again. Not in this fashion, not in this way. There is the TP from Kisse to start things off. Instantly says, Roma, good night, you're gone. Goes golden, comes out, gets popped by Dragku. In goes Schönfire, looking to try and take down Swiper, who just fade away Cataclysms to make sure that Lemus has 40 seconds to figure out his next play because the Dragon has been denied. There is no soul point. And look, Antic are looking to make this an even game.
Yeah, honestly, really well played by Roma. Even though he dies there, the moment he sees the TQ coming through, he kills off the Dragon, goes into the bush, and blows his full combo to Ari. Not strong enough to one-shot him yet, though, but really good job to put him on a lethal damage, as you can see here. Pops his full damage onto Ari, gets the charm, so he's unable to jump away. Free cleanup for his team. Lemus doesn't have summoners to get away from Udyr at this point in the game. So a good night to him. I think it's just really, really, really well played from Antic. The GZ is just... They're kind of fumbling on the side lanes a bit, and this is what happens when you verse like such like smart, strong players. Like, they will punish you for mistakes.
They've got the expectation of how a matchup should be played and how the win con for Granzo should be executed. And if it's not working in that fashion, then Antic are certainly saying, well, we've got a chance here. We're going to fight our way back into this one, and that's exactly what they're doing. As what was that 5k lead that never really grew much further has shrunk down to just over 1.5 now. So it's a dicey moment where, yeah, short soul point is always going to be that bait, that attraction to try and draw in the members to force out that fight. But now we're going to start thinking of scaling. And do you think a side has a better chance of sort of, scaling into this one?
We'll see if they do want to go on bot here first.
See if Zonis is the focus. Schönfire again. Make sure they can try and do as much damage into him. He's got the Abyssal Masters picked up some free tanky items. He's definitely getting burned on down, but he can just look to try and run away. Both Turtle and Ghost active, and just laugh at the attempt, really, more than anything.
Yeah, that's very funny. That's very fair. Anyway, back to your point about scaling. I would give it to Antic. I think that like the Xayah late game plus like he has double front line, whereas like GZ doesn't. As it are going for an engagement to Shern.
They certainly are. Schönfire already made an attempt in the bot lane, and as a result, they know exactly where he is, and they converge on him as a 4-man unit. Good equalizer, but not good enough because Schönfire is already dead. The last 3 kills have gone the way of King. That's the shutdown that he needed. And I tell you what, if we were to look at the gold now, he's probably even at this point, because he was down so many thousands of gold before, and you need a desire to become relevant again.
Yeah, it's just really impressive that he's able to get back into the game based on how behind he was in the early game. But we do see Antic start Baron here. Java does have access to ult, and Roamer is sitting in a bush for the flank. We'll see if they do want to turn or they're going to finish this. They do not have Smite on GZ's side.
Yeah, and the only ultimate they have available would be that hostile takeover, so Antic no doubt feeling so confident about this one. Out it goes, Benvi is the target, Swiper will fall on down, and it goes the way of Benvi. He's not going to get that reset, he's not going to get that revive. 2 members are going to fall on down then from Grand Zero, drawn in by the attraction that the Baron might be getting taken, and Antic continue to punish, and actually now the game is dead even. Look at that gold.
Yeah, and even though they're forced to base here, like they're still happy. I think we got 2 more shutdowns onto King. Like he's probably going to have another completed item here, if not components. Like these fights just keep going in the way of Antic. We see Roamer like playing on the flank. Like this is what LeBlanc wants to be doing. They don't really have CC to mark him. Swiper does his job. He engages onto Bendy, locks him up, doesn't have flash, and he's instantly taken out. Also, really well played by Lemus and Kisei to put out this much damage in like such a bad scenario. Like he decided to go back in, but you know, instantly had the flash out. But he's doing his job.
That was an instant case of mistakes were made. That's not the spirit rush I wanted. That's not the direction I needed to go. He's going to get punished for that one. So let's bring up that gold graph then as a result. And what was a massive lead for Lemus before has now completely shrunk to just shy of 1.5. So still, Lemus has a massive lead, but definitely nowhere near as far ahead as he was before. And it just means that the overall economy here for Antic is starting to really ramp up, and they're finding success in all the right places. In an actual rare game here, Tally, we see a Void Staff coming out instead of the Crypt Bloom.
Yeah, I think LeBlanc is probably one of the champions who utilizes the extra bit of damage on Void the best, because like she wants to be able to kill people. She doesn't really care about like, oh, actually he's going to kill someone right here. You know?
Goodbye, yep.
She doesn't really want to utilize that extra bit of utility. Like LeBlanc's a selfish champion, so like picking up the Void is probably like for the best.
Yeah, it's all in for that 1 cycle of cooldowns. If it's not dead and done yet, then maybe something has gone wrong. Deep TP here from Antic as they look to try and converge on the mid lane. But Grand Zero decide not to push any further, so the flank that Roamer is trying to present won't amount to much more than just pushing in this way. But great observation from the observers here as we look to see that 2 lanes have been crashed at once. In they jump on Schönfire and Benvi. Cataclysm is fantastic. Swiper flashes out of it. Schönfire nowhere to go. Benvi gives him the bailout, but he's not going to get the kill, so he's dead. Make it 2. Lemus trying to fight as hard as he can. Once again, in that deja vu spot, as him and Kisei joined at the hip saying, why is our team dead? Where is our engage?
You know, honestly, really, really impressive flank by Dracu. Like, he's sitting there, he holds his nerve even though they're kind of converging on him, and he finds a really good engage. But also, good trigger figure by Lemus. He sees Roamer flash in to get a bit of extra damage into the champ locks on the Cataclysm, drops the ult flash straight onto LeBlanc, and they get the gold onto him.
Yeah, it's phenomenal, really. We'll start off with the replay once again. Out of vision. Where's Dracu? They had no idea, and then just cycling of cooldowns, right? You can try and respond, but by that point, it's a little bit too late.
Yeah, and like once again, like is the ult flash from Lemus, they get LeBlanc. This is probably the only way LeBlanc's really gonna die this game is like getting hit by like a random Varus ult, because I don't think the charm or like the Renata handshake is ever gonna be able to do that job.
No, it certainly isn't. And you can see just how much damage Lemus is doing, even if he is playing on hit. The poke, if you would call it that, is certainly still fully online for the taking here. Now, they've done a fantastic job of delaying the soul point from ever being picked up, but the Baron has always been there as that little bit of a lure. Like, will we go for it? Will we not? You have a Rumble ult. You must be thinking feeling so confident about your chances to try and capitalize on this one, but it's never really materialized in that fashion. It's a pretty even game. Has been for the last few moments. But it has been always going in favor of Antic in these few fights. So you start to wonder if Grand Zero get a little bit in their heads about things and say, are we actually not as strong as we would have thought we were?
Yeah, we're also going to have to pay attention to like the GZ bot lane, the next team fight. They both don't have access to Flash, so I'm pretty sure Slifer would be very happy to trade 1-for-1 with either of those champions at this point in the game. I think like the fact that Zaya has access to her Flash plus having 3 irons right now, like she is online. But she's going to be able to see like if GZ are going to be able to like navigate this next team fight.
Yeah, the next team fight could certainly have some dire consequences, right? It feels like the game is ramping towards a point where you make one misstep and those 40-second respawn timers do get punished. It resulted in a game end for the first game, right? But for game 2 as well, I mean, that's certainly a case of take a Baron, look to try and end through all these lanes that have been split pushed to try and even out the odds, which has been, yeah, structural difference for Ground Zero, but it's not really amounted to much more. All that early game success has started to dwindle away, which does paint a picture of a bit of concern. Zoranus has picked himself up the Morellos, which is a new pickup here, so looking to try and apply that Grievous in an AoE setting quite nice and easily.
Yeah, he probably,
front line.
He probably feels that he's tanky enough that he can start building a bit of damage here, as he does get Varus ulted.
He does, but he just shrugs it off, doesn't he? You wouldn't even notice that he's had a bit of attention thrown towards him. That's some damage, though, from Ryoma. Instantly setting TM back to base, and as you've mentioned, he doesn't have the TP luxury, so that happens a few times as they're playing around this Baron. That could be the difference.
Yeah, I think we'll see Antic keep, like, ducking in and out of vision. I don't think they'll really want to pull this Baron. He's just going to push midway, walk in the fog, and then, like, try find that pick that can solidify a kill, and that's when they'll start to pull the trigger.
Mid lane, the focus right now. Side lanes do not exist. They've got their blinkers on. Single mind. Go through mid, get control, force a fight. Maybe look at Baron. If not that, try and bait out some of these summoners because those flashes are starting to come back online again.
I think we might see GZ start the Baron when we see Zoranus spot. They might want to blow his TP here.
It'd be a worthwhile push. They will definitely start things up here, and Drake straight away realizes, look, this is gone. Look how quickly it's being shredded on down. Is the TP a little bit too late? That is the question right now. He's got a TP to top. As in comes Ryoma, the fight's going to be a 3v5. The Baron's gone the way of Grand Zero, Stern 5 secures, but in goes Swiper. He's got the Cataclysm on the entire enemy team. It's surely easy pickings. Rip back the Fivers King, find the position. He's already burnt the flash. So the Fivers are a little bit awkward, but they get the job done. Sternfire tries to be a hero and cycle through with that Titanic, but it does not matter. It is the ace, it is the Baron denied, and it is the push to open up the inhibitors.
Screw the smite skimmy. I want a 5-man Cataclysm. Swiper does so much work there, and King just comes in. He's just absolutely on point with his high selection. Runs right for Lemus. You know, drops the ult on top of everyone. He does insane amount of damage. And that just looks so easy for them.
They look far too easy, Tally. Far too easy, and as a result, they walk straight into the base and say, "That is our ultimate prize. You went for a play. You baited out our TP. You took the 3v5." But you've lost everything in the process. No Baron buff remaining as we watch it again. Look at Swiper.
Yeah, like, once again, I always talk about how good Swiper is a team, but like, he drops that 5-man Cataclysm. Like, I can't remember the last time I saw that. He does so much work here. The feathers going out. The root core is coming out. I think Zai's just doing way too much damage here. Like, LeBlanc just comes from flank, and they clean this up so easy.
That they certainly do. What a play, what a turn of events. And now, finally, for the first time in this game, Antic actually had the gold lead. Would you believe it? 34 minutes in is as long as it took for them to get there. But they played the long run. They played the patient game. They scaled into this one. They got enough time for King to become a relevant factor. Now has a 1k shutdown on his head. And look, Lemus is certainly still a massive terror to try and contend with. But it's hit a point now where it's almost a little bit too much of an uphill battle.
Yeah, we also have the Banshees coming out of Ryoma now, so like, there's no way he can die as he goes for approach now. It's very, very hard to deal with LeBlanc. I think we might see GZ look for like a fast engage, because if Ryoma gets a setup, he's just going to keep throwing out poke like this, and he's gone.
Wow. 55
That's when you know your champs.
It's illegal. I'm stunned. I'm actually lost for words. Unbelievable there. And this is Kiste, who's got everything available. Stopwatch, a flash, just a fadeaway chains. He did not see that coming.
Yeah, a lot of people, when they think of LeBlanc, think about early game, like, oh, like, the gang setup's nice, like, her level 6 burst is crazy, but, like, to me, LeBlanc has always been a late game champion. Like when you pick her against teams with no CC and she's able to just torsion forward, double sigil, like, that damage is insane at this point in the game.
And you saw it there. That's a nearly full build LeBlanc, very much into the later stages of this one, able to say goodbye. You've got no resistances, and you will just be falling on down, as will Sternfire. I mean, it's as simple as that, isn't it? A case of them grouped up together as 5 and saying, you don't belong here.
Sean was trying to find his frogs as he thought they would be on Dragon right now, but you know, Antic are like, you're not getting anything, you're not coming into the jungle anymore. As you do see the chain go wide.
Oh, if that would have landed, I was waiting with bated breath to think, surely not again. Surely not one more time.
Like, I could not imagine this game state if you showed me what happened early game. It's honestly just, it's very impressive that they were able to come back this much into it. But GZ still aren't out of it. Like, this isn't a signed deal yet. Like, Lemus is still really strong, and if he gets his lethal tempo stacked and like has his ghost running in a team fight, he can still do an insane amount of damage. Like, Kiste and Sternfire is still really strong. The only thing I'm really worried about at this point is, like, I think Rumble can't really do much. Like, he's going to have to find an insane equalizer angle to be able to like help his team win these team
Yeah,
fights.
it's been a bit of an awkward game, hasn't it, for Tien? I'd love to know the sort of decision-making behind this, because it feels a case of, look, I don't need to ban the Udyr. I can deal with it with this Rumble. I can beat it in lane with the first pick on blue side. And it's never really materialized into that, has it? I mean, there's been a few moments where the equalizers have been a bit awkward, but outside of that, I mean, it's still Rumble. At the end of the day, it still is an incredibly strong champion, but it's just not been his night.
Yeah, it kind of comes down to the fact that like if he has Ignite and he can win lane, he's not really going to have any map pressure. Like maybe this is a matchup where like you can't really kill and it is something where you should be running TP, because a lot of these team fights in like the early game where we saw Zonas TP and kill Shurtfire, also like kill side lanes, was the TP problem. So it could be something that you look forward to the future where like, okay, I can't really punish this matchup with Ignite anyway, like I'm just going to go for TP instead.
A consideration for next time, but for the meantime, they've got to focus on what is in front of them, and that is defending this base, because ANC have had a whiff of success and have not let their foot off the pedal as a result, right? They're saying, look, we know we're strong, we know that you're scared, and that you're concerned that both LeBlanc can one-shot, our Udyr won't die, and that King has become a bit of a weapon that has unleashed himself on to the map. Shurnfire gets a taste of the medicine and realizes he's not actually too happy about it.
That's
he's going to be sent straight back to the... Yeah, exactly. That's their tank. And he's dying like that. The equalizer used to trim that wave to buy themselves crucial seconds and deny the siege. But in go Antic and utilize their cannon for the very last few seconds to shred that one down, find themselves a second inhibitor, and make it one step closer to finding checkmate.
This is a tyrannical plus 30 LeBlanc if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, it is. I mean, this LeBlanc is like plus 27, plus 28. Like it's ascended, and I'm getting one shot by mechanics now.
Taunt, please, taunt!
I need a defensive. I do not have enough right now. He needs all the versatility in the world to try and survive all this, because they just see a target and they collapse upon it. That's the scary part, is how quick they are as a team.
King is being caught out here, but he does have 6 items, so I don't think anyone else is really going near him.
No, he's legendary. He's working his way towards double digits to try and match that with his mid laner in Ryoma, who's got 10 kills to his name. As did LeBlanc, it's that last dance, that final breath, that one chance to try and defend it all, but it's not going to land heads for them. They've been aced inside their own base, as they will go for the end to take down all 3 and secure the 3 points.
I vow from this point forward to never ever count Antic out of the game for the rest of my life. No matter what they're playing and how the game state is, it's always winnable.
It certainly is. Antic on the day, twice with the late game scaling. Dragku, yes! Give us the pose. Moku is back.